Hello everybody again, and welcome back to Chris Bosch Props. Today I wanted to share some of the progress once again that I am making on the Robocop suit. I know in my last video I was sharing with you guys the screw detail that needed to be added into the various parts throughout the suit. I got most of the screw detail in, and I'll kind of show you where it really needs to go. And also in the last video, I showed you guys the OCP Police 001, the new plate there that is engraved and a lot more accurate. But I've been grinding for the past couple days pretty hard on this suit, trying to get it to this point. And what I did was, as you guys have seen already, that a lot of the larger armor pieces are in multiple pieces. I think this chest is in like 8 pieces. This arm here is like in 4 or 5 pieces. So what I did today was I was filling a lot of the seam lines, like I think this is a line right here, with some plastic metal with this stuff. And I pretty much just went over every single seam on all of the large armor pieces that are in multiple pieces. I went over all the seam lines with this stuff, and then I went with a palm sander and sanded it all down and got everything as uniform as possible. It's far from perfect, but it's a lot more uniform. And then once I did that, I threw on a coat of Bondo filler primer. So that's where we're at now. It gives me a good foundation. The reason I like the Bondo filler primer, or any kind of gray primer for that matter, is it helps me to see my imperfections. It helps me to see the details that need to be worked on. For instance, we have a lot going on there. You could still see some of the layer lines and some of the low poly areas, especially on the chest here. You have some low poly areas, like right here, all that stuff. These lines here all kind of need to be sanded smooth and filled in, but we're not getting to the heavy body work just yet. The Bondo filler primer was just to give me a nice uniform coat and foundation, so when I get to that point, I have a good starting point. So the next thing we're going to do is get the large armor pieces fiberglassed, and the reason we want to fiberglass them is just to add some more stability. And then after that, we are going to start the crazy body work and really smoothing this stuff out and getting it completely uniform and looking just like the movie. So here's a lot of the screw detail that had to be added in to the feet, and especially on these calves. There's tons of them that have to be added in. I wanted to say there's more than 8. But all that screw detail had to be glued in. These still need some screw detail on all of those. I haven't gotten that far yet. But as you can see, all that there, you're gonna have to add in. And then also, on these upper legs here, you can see, you gotta add in all of those. I also added in these hex bolts up there. Those are seen, those are present on the movie. I think I just modeled those myself. Those actually didn't come with the files in particular. Neither did these. I had to model these little squares here to fit in those spots. These also, I added in. I still need to putty around and make it look a little bit more crisper and nicer. But you could see some of my seam line here from the parts that really needs to be smoothed out. It's not perfectly level, but that's what this Bondo filler primer coat does. It allows me to see a lot of these imperfections. Same thing here, guys. We have all the screw detail that I added in. And then on the upper arms, there is quite a bit also that had to be added in, and I believe I added in those, and I added in those as well there. And the same thing on that arm, there's like 4 of them, and then a couple on the back as well. So yeah, guys, it's a lot of tedious work sitting there and super gluing for hours. Make sure you wear your mask so you don't you know, get really high on the super glue fumes, because yeah, not wearing a mask is not good. Some more screw detail here that I added in are these little bolts here, these little socket caps that I modeled, printed, and added them in. So that's where we're at, guys. We still have a lot of work to do, but seeing it at this point, we're really close, guys. We are not far from the goal. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, and we're on to the next one, guys. Thank you for watching.
So